Welcome to Walk the Line. What y'all know what it is. This is another week to break down these golden picks, man. I'm in the building right now with my co-host Ralph. Man, what's going on, Ralph?
What up, man?
Listen, man, you kicked my ass in those week 2 matchups, man. All right, you kicked my ass, so I had to do my homework. I got bounced back in. We breaking down these week 6 matchups, man. You excited?
I'm ready, man. Let's get to it.
All right, let's dive right into it, man. First up on the list, we got SJ and the Kansas City Chiefs versus Matty Ice and the Buffalo Bills. Now, Matty Ice comes into this matchup, all right, with a top 6 ranked defense and middle of the pack, somewhat offense. But the thing that stands out to me, boy, what I like about this Buffalo Bills team, right, is what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball. Whenever you're putting up 30 points per game, right, and your defense is only allowing 19 points per game, that puts you in a good position every single week to lock in a W. However, he has the high-powered Kansas City Chiefs offense coming into town that has Patrick Mahomes with that rocket cannon, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and that boy Hartman. Do you think that this will be the week that this Buffalo Bills defense will be tested, Ralph?
I think so, for sure. I'm a little disappointed in, his loss that he had to H-Bow.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think, you look at, he's got Poyer back there. He's got Tre'Davious White. I think he's going to be able to compete with the Chiefs.
All right, so with my pick, man, I'm locked in. All right, this is my first lock pick of this week where I'm 100% locked in. And I just think that I'm going to take Matty Ice in this one, man. I'm taking Matty Ice and the Bills, getting the W, keeping that winning train going in the right direction. Who you going to win in this matchup?
I'm going Matty Ice as well. Like I said, I'm disappointed in that loss. You got Hill on that Chiefs team averaging 54 yards a catch, which is insane. But I just like the defense of the Bills better, and I don't really think that SJ plays defense, so I like the Bills.
Moving on, man, we got Taz and the Cincinnati Bengals versus your Indianapolis Colts. Now, you come into this matchup, okay, in the middle of the pack of your division. Everybody's right there pretty much even as of right now. I like what I've been seeing from your team, okay? There's just been a couple little minor things that I seen you adjust with as far as with Phillip Rivers. I'm glad that you decided to bench that guy because it just seemed like Rivers couldn't complete the pass to save his life. But what is the mentality that you got to insert heading into this game facing a struggling Cincinnati Bengals team who just seem to not be able to stop a lick of anything on defense? They're giving up 39 points per game. They're giving up almost a total of 215 yards passing. They're allowing almost every single game over 100 yards rushing. What kind of game plan coming into this game? Even though the numbers say that this Cincinnati Bengals team is struggling across the board on the defense side of the ball, what type of level of focus can you come into this matchup not falling victim to the trap? Because we know Taz is a tough user in the DML. So what game plan you going to put together to lock in the W for this week?
My game plan is simple, man. I got to protect the ball, which has been my strategy with this rookie quarterback all year. Protect the ball at all costs, and then keep everything in front of me. I feel if I don't let Ross get off, if I force him to beat me with Burrow, and he's got 24 interceptions with Burrow at this point, I think my odds are good. I just got to protect the ball and keep everything in front of me.
See, I like this matchup right here, okay? I like this matchup because even though both guys are not sitting at the top of their game, both of these users come out week after week, and they're going to put it all on the line. So this matchup right here, man, I'm locked. I'm locked in right now. I'm locked in with Taz and the Bengals getting a W. I'm going to tell you why. I just feel like, I don't want to go against my co-host, man, but I just feel like, okay, John Ross, man, is going to be too much for that secondary. And I believe that Ross is going to get off probably 1 or 2, right? And then Ralph is going to lock in on him, which is going to allow Taz to utilize and open up for other guys. So that's my pick, man. I'm locked in, but hopefully my co-host proves me wrong. Moving on, we got Centaur and the Detroit Lions versus under 2 rated and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Centaur comes to this matchup struggling across the board, okay? And turnovers, I repeat, turnovers has been this guy's Achilles heel so far this season. The offense can't take care of the ball, and the defense can't seem to figure out how to stop anything, all right? And when you're giving up almost 50-piece per game on the defense side of the ball. This is just ridiculous. And do you think the effect of Darius Slay being traded away from this secondary is affecting this team dramatically on the defense side of the ball?
I think it is, and I just think the situation that he's putting himself in, getting down in games and having to force things to come back. He's got, Tavai, I guess, Jelani Tavai from Hawaii, that linebacker with 23 tackles. But in the secondary, you're right. I mean, he really don't have much. He's got Desmond Trufant back there with 5 picks. Mm-hmm. But once, his defense is struggling. And then he's got to deal with Embro and that Bears team balling right now.
Yeah, man, I just can't see him turning the leaf in this matchup, man, because under 2 rated, the way he's been playing right now, I think he's just been coming out there and just been playing a balanced type style of football on the offensive side of the ball, even though the numbers don't show it. Okay, I feel like he's going to come into this matchup and be able to manage this game with his rushing attack, which is ranked top 5 in the DMI right now. So with my pick, man, I'm locked in. This is no brainer with me. I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars getting the W going into week 7. What's your thoughts on who you going with on this game?
I'm going to go with the Lions in this game, and the only reason is because I know Under doesn't like to throw the ball. Minshew's got 3 touchdowns on the season. Other than the tight end, there's just really not a threat in the passing game for me. Yes, Armstead is a beast out of the backfield, but I think that plays into the strength of the Lions right now with that linebacker, and he's got Trey Flowers coming off the edge, Jamie Collins in the middle. I think he's going to be able to shut down the run and force Under to beat him passing, which I don't think he could do. So I'm taking the Lions.
All right, moving on. We got Nasty Noop and the Atlanta Falcons versus Darkness and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, the Vikings, what's going on, baby? I got all these weapons on the offensive side of the ball. You got Ty Gurley. You got Calvin Ridley. You got Julio Jones. And the list just goes on and on. What the hell is going on, young fella? I'm looking at his stat line right now, and it's just mind-boggling to me, okay? You got Mr. Julio Jones, who's sitting right now through 6 weeks of football with only 195 receiving yards, 3 receiving... Well, my fault. He only has 2 receiving touchdowns. How, young fella? Talk to me, Luke. What's going on? I don't understand. With so many offensive weapons on this Atlanta Falcons team, how they have not yet put up a single win this season? But guess what? Nasty Snoop is smiling from ear to ear on this one because he got the struggling Minnesota Vikings, okay, who guess what they're struggling against? The passing attack. Now I'm expecting Nasty Snoop to unleash, I'm talking about unleash Julio Jones in this matchup, because I'm going to be disappointed if I don't see Julio Jones go off for more than over 100-something receiving yards and for at least 2 receiving touchdowns. Come on, young fella. I'm locked in with you. I'm locked in with the Atlanta Falcons getting a W by a large margin. What's your thoughts on this one, man? Who you going with?
And I'm the same way. I look at that defensive line. He's got Fowler and Jarrett with 9 sacks. But you look at those games, you pull out the ones against the Packers and Cowboys, he's been right there. He's had some bad luck, some, bounces go against him. But on the other side of the ball, Thielen is the man that, Darkness is looking for. He's got 25 catches, 371 yards, and he's got that man Cook out of the backfield. So I'm taking Darkness in an upset.
Ooh. Uh-oh. The maintainers is up. Next up, we got...
Oh, my God. He's shit everywhere. My house is full of shit! He's shit everywhere!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know what it is. We had to bring it to y'all this week. We have the Shit Bowl game. And the first 2 teams that hit this matchup is going to be Marlo and the New York Jets versus Tone Dog and the LA Chargers. Listen, okay. I don't know if it's Tone still having to try to figure out this game, man. Or the lack of not having Derwin James out there at the strong safety position. But it's no excuses on this show, man. We give it to you how we going to give it to you. Like I said in the chat, man, if you trash, you trash. If you ass, you ass. And right now, the way that Tone is playing with this LA Chargers team, it is just flat out disappointing to me. It's flat out disappointing to me because this is the team that fell in the draft, right? fell in the Madden 21 team draft, and it was just mind-boggling to me, because this is a team that was ready to go out the gate on both sides of the ball. But it just seemed like this team has not yet shown on the field that they can produce. Okay, they can't stop nothing on offense. They can't get nothing going on offense. They're only averaging 19 points per game, putting them at the bottom half of the league. And on defense, they can't seem to stop anything, even though they have guys like Joey Bosa, Chris Harris, Hayward at the cornerback position, that young fast middle linebacker Murray. It's just disappointing. It's just disappointing to me watching this team come out on the field week after week and just can't seem to put it together. What's your thoughts on this matchup, man? Who you going with this? Because I gotta let my mic cool off a little bit because I don't want to melt it down, man.
Look, I played the Jets, and he's already announced that he's not happy with that playbook. I kind of felt like he had no direction, no other running back on that team, nobody else but Le'Veon Bell has a carry on that team. I think you got to get some other people involved. I do feel he's struggling. He's very, I didn't have to guess at what he was doing. It was very cut and dry. Now you go to the Chargers, and like you said, homeboy is struggling, but he's struggling for one reason and one reason only. With his rookie quarterback, Herbert, he's got 3 touchdowns and 22 interceptions. That is awful. That is terrible. Keenan Allen, 4 receptions. Are you kidding me? Keenan Allen's a beast. Get that man the ball. I know he's trying to get Joe Reed, the rookie out of Virginia, up. He's got 8 catches, but that passing game is just non-existent. You have 23 turnovers at your quarterback position. You ain't going nowhere. I'm taking the Jets.
Yeah, man. My thoughts on this one right here, my thoughts is wandering, and my head is just everywhere. But I'm locked in, man. And I'm locked in with the Chargers tone, putting it together, taking all that negativity, what we've said on the show, and bottling it up and using it as some form of motivation, man, and getting a W going into week 7. Moving on, we got Washington football team in the bus versus the big homie, the New York Giants. And the New York Giants, okay, one thing only stands out about this team, and it's not good. It's not good, man. It's not good. So I woke up this morning, I was doing my notes, had my little nice cup of coffee in. I'm trying to figure out, okay, why this man Saquon Barkley, okay, is not being utilized to his full potential, okay? This is not a player, okay, who you can give the backseat to substitute for something else. You have to, what can I say? You have to come out week after week after week with one thing only. Your offense has to run through Saquon Barkley, okay? It has to run through Saquon Barkley. If you have one of the most dominant players on your roster and you're not coming out week after week after week making any defense that you go up against respect this man, you're going to have struggles. You're going to struggle week after week, and it's showing. The proof is in the pudding. You got to make each person that you face, whether it's me, my co-host, or whoever, you got to make these people come out and respect Saquon Barkley. And right now, man, the numbers are proving that you are not doing that at all. I like what this Washington Redskins team is doing. Okay, my fault. Washington football team is doing. Even though KP right now is in a little slump, took 2 L's back to back, looking for him to bounce back. I think that this is the matchup that he wants right here, okay? It's a divisional matchup. He's on the road, even though he's on the road. He's facing a struggling New York Giants team who can't seem to get Saquon Barkley going. I think he needs to come out, stack 8 in the box, okay? Force him to keep playing the same as that way he's been playing with putting the game in Daniel Jones' hands, which I think is a dumbass mistake. But I think KP's going to play to that weakness of the New York Giants and secure him a W going into week 7. What's your thoughts with the matchup we'll be going with?
Man, well, the Giants comes in at this point in time with the last ranked offense in the dynasty. So what does that tell you? Daniel Jones does not even have 800 yards passing. On the defensive side, that's signing James Bradbury, no interceptions, nothing going on. And you look at my man, KP, the bus over there, Cole Holcomb, the middle linebacker out of North Carolina, is leading the league in tackles, has 40 tackles and 6 interceptions on the season. The rookie over there, Young, 3 sacks already. I mean, that defense is loaded. And like you said, the bus is playing smart football, trying to keep it balanced between the run and the pass. I like him in a stat padding game this week. Washington Heat.
We locked in. Moving on, we got Solomon Kane and the Chicago Bears versus C-Rob and the Carolina Panthers. Now, woo, this boy Solomon Kane has been balling out. I'm talking about playing lights out football. But this is why this Chicago Bears team is very dangerous. That defense across the board is ranked top 3 in the DML. Top 3 in the DML. Whenever your defense can come out and shut down an offense, it don't matter who you got on the offensive side of the ball. And right now, this is how this man is winning. He's coming out. He's playing smart, even though, okay, Mr. Trubisky doesn't have the stats that we all, would love to see. He's coming out, managing the game on the offensive side of the ball, and his defense is crushing every single offense they go up against. They're only giving up 18 points per game, which has them ranked third in the DML, only allowing a total of 283 total offensive yards to have them ranked currently first in the DML. I like it. I like it because I played against C-Rob and these Carolina Panthers last week, and he was turnover happy. I think in this matchup, Chicago Bears defense comes out on the road with that same fire they've been playing with for the first half of the season, and I think they're going to secure them an easy W on the road against the Carolina Panthers going into Week 7. What's your thoughts on this game? Who you going with?
I just played the Bears, man. I went up there. It was a tough game. He doesn't beat himself. I got one interception on him, and then he just took what I was giving him the rest of the way. He didn't make mistakes, and that defense is nasty. It is nasty. On the same side, I don't like how Christian McCaffrey is being utilized, only 236 yards on the season. I think you got to do way more with that. Even Teddy, he's already over 1,000 yards, having a decent season. But I'm with you, man. The Bears defense is tough. I think he's going to frustrate C-Rob a little bit and get this dub.
Moving on, we got Eddie and the Baltimore Ravens versus KP and the Philadelphia Eagles. Listen, I've been watching these Baltimore Ravens play for the past couple weeks, and I don't know what was going on. I don't know what somebody said, but it seemed like they woke up a sleeping giant because the way Lamar Jackson has turned it around, okay? After that first Week 1 loss to those Cleveland Browns, he has been playing lights out football, and my man, Mr. Hollywood, Mr. Hollywood Smoking Brown has been balling out. I'm talking about the dude is like Flash, man. He's like Flash. And right now, the stats are proving that this is one of the most dangerous dynamic duo with Lamar Jackson and Hollywood Brown in the DML right now. So KP, you gotta listen to me. You gotta get Fletcher Cox ready. You gotta get Darius Slay ready. These two guys needs to be inside of the film room, coaching each other up. Listen, Fletcher, I need you to get pressure on Lamar Jackson. Darius Slay, when that pressure is created, I need you to be able to capitalize on these turnovers, all right? KP's going to have to come into this game being able to slow down this high-powered Baltimore Ravens offense, because if you cannot get pressure on Lamar Jackson, meaning you need to blitz from all different directions, okay? Cause some sort of confusion. If you allow this man to sit back there in that pocket comfortably, to be able to pick your secondary apart, it's going to be a long, long day. However, even though I bleed green and black, I bleed it, and my gut is telling me that somehow, some way, KP is going to feed off of this Philadelphia Eagles home crowd energy and secure the W. I just can't see me going against the way how Lamar Jackson and Hollywood Brown has been playing. So my pick, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens getting the W going into Week 7. What's your thoughts on who you going with?
Man, same thing. Like you said, I mean, Lamar had 2 incompletions in his last game. Just 2. 20 of 22. But he is also the leading rusher on his team, 323 yards, leading the team in rushing. And that man, Marquise Brown, leading the league with 15 tubs through the air. I mean, it's nuts. I just don't think the Eagles have what it takes to slow him down at this point in the season. I think he got on the game a little bit late. He's still struggling to find his footing. I like the Ravens in a blowout.
Whoa, Ravens in a blowout. Okay, KP, you better take that, man. Use some energy. Better use some motivation or something, baby. Moving on, we got JB in the Houston Texans versus the Schemer and the Tennessee Titans. Now, this game right here is funny right here to me because I posted in the chat the other day. I said, dang, Schemer. Hey, what's going on, baby? You the most hated man in the DML right now, okay? And he's catching some smoke right now. But listen, man, like we said in the chat, either you trash, you trash, you ass. Right now, schemer, yes, man. Yes, you flat out yes, okay? Since Derrick Henry has went down, alright, which was the focal point of your offense, you have to understand one thing and one thing only, young fella. Next man up, okay? And it seems like the way that the Tennessee Titans is playing right now, as far as the user, it seems like guys in the DML hasn't figured it out. I believe somebody dropped the blueprint on how to beat the Tennessee Titans. When somebody can come out week after week and map out your game plan before you even get on the sticks, that's bad. So you need to hit the lab real fast, schemer, and start switching things up, because if you don't, it's going to be a very long season for the Tennessee Titans. My fault, it's going to be a very long cycle for the Tennessee Titans and you. All right. However, JB and the Houston Texans, man, this was the team that I had, you know, as one of the most dangerous teams in the DML hitting in. The offense is there. JB is balling out on the offense side of the ball, putting up 32 points per game, averaging almost 400 yards per total offensive yards per game. But it's the defense. When you're putting up 32 points per game, but then your defense is giving up almost 50 points per game, and almost goddamn 400, almost, I'm going to say 500, because he had 457, so I'm going to round up 43. Okay? So my thing is, that's bad. That's bad. J.J. Watt has to get going. He has to, same thing I said about the Philadelphia Eagles. In this matchup, J.J. Watt is going to have to come alive, okay? He's going to have to come alive and help anchor this defense who has been struggling by far so far this season, okay? Guys like him, you got to regroup everybody. Listen, okay? How we been playing for the past 5 weeks, this is the week where we need to get it right. Okay, no Derrick Henry. Okay, this team is struggling. Let's get it right this week and find something to build off of. So with my pick, man, I'm locked in with the Houston Texans getting the W, just because the type of play, the type of offense that JB is going to bring to Tennessee, I don't think schemer has the user skills to keep up with it, because he likes to utilize the D lineman. So with my pick, I'm taking the Texans getting a W on the road going to Week 7. What's your thoughts on this game? What are you going with?
I feel the way, but you know, that defense has been struggling for the Texans, but his offense has just been lights out. I mean, putting up some crazy numbers. You know, Watson almost has 1,400 yards passing on the season. Where I would like to see some improvement is with David Johnson, 137 yards on the ground. Duke Johnson doesn't even have 100 yards. You need to balance that offense out. You can't just be airing it out to Fuller and Stills all game. That's gotten him to a 1-3 record. Schema with them Titans, yes, the blueprint is laid out. We know what he's going to do. His game plan in the beginning of the season was to run Henry down people's throats. Well, guess what? He can't do that anymore. And now with Tannehill out, due to his injury, he's got Cole McDonald, a rookie out of Hawaii, and Logan Woodside, another young quarterback. I just don't think he has the firepower or the skills to keep up with the Texans in this one. I'm going with JB.
Locked in. We locked in. Moving on, we got Niner Tom and the Cleveland Browns versus Skill Trade and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this game right here is a divisional matchup, but this game right here, looking at it, this is the game that the Cleveland Browns needed. Okay. This is the game where I'm not going to waste no time on it. I think this is going to be a pure stat stuffer game for Niner Tom and the Cleveland Browns. Bounce back, get things going back in the right direction. Odell Beckham going off, Baker Mayfield going off, Kareem Hunt going off, Jarvis Landry going off. I say, I'm going to open up the line on this one. I'm going to say Niner Tom and the Cleveland Browns by 21 points. What's your thoughts and who you going with on this one?
I think it's going to be ugly as well. I mean, we know what we're going to get with the Browns. Solid user, best special teams in the game. You know, even with, you know, a man down back there, a Chubb, he's still got Hunt doing his thing. Now, I don't know what's going on with the Steelers. You got Bush back there. You had him last year. That linebacker stud. He has no sacks, no interceptions, and he has 16 interceptions with Ben Roethlisberger. That is not a recipe for success. It's going to be ugly. I got the Browns.
Moving on, we got tiebreaker, the blazing hot Miami Dolphins versus Sweet and the Denver Broncos. What? Right now, Tight is sitting at the top of the AFC. Okay, been balling like sitting at 4-1. What has been your thoughts as far as how good the Miami Dolphins have been playing? Is this just something that we have to grow accustomed to seeing, knowing that it don't matter who's on this Miami Dolphins roster, okay? Every single cycle, every single season, Tight is just coming out and it's just balling out with these Miami Dolphins. Do he just seem to know how to figure out the game? Like, what is your thoughts on this Miami Dolphins squad?
I mean, Tight, man, he knows his team. He knows the playbook. He knows his players. He knows how to spread the ball around. And the biggest thing for me, he keeps everybody guessing. Mm-hmm. Yes, he's quarterback, but he's still running the ball. He's running options. He's playing defense. You got Ogba on that defensive line with 5.5 sacks. You got Xavier Howard with 5 picks. I mean, Tight just knows what he's doing, plain and simple. And he's really going to build that team up. And with a quarterback, Tua, for the whole cycle, watch out.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you on this one, man. I just figure out. I just think that the way, like you just said, when you're going into an organization that you know in and out, okay, you know we know the playbook. It don't, at this point, it doesn't even matter, you know. And one thing about Tight, what I like is, man, it doesn't even matter what the roster is, man. This right here labels what this season is all about. Pure stick skills, man. Now, these two know each other familiar. Okay, they're familiar with each other's game style. These are guys who've been running each other for a while. Even though, look, I'm locked in, man. I'm sitting here. I'm sipping a little bit of Henny. I'm locked in, and even though the Miami Dolphins is the heavily favored team in this matchup, I'm going with Sweets, man. I'm going with Sweets and this Denver Broncos team, even though they're sitting right outside of the playoffs right now, which is a little bit early. I think he's going to definitely call up the church. I like what this team is doing on the defense side of the ball, man. They rank 12th in points allowed per game, 7th in total offense, and they're ranked top 10 against the rush. Okay? Right now, I don't think that Tight has that number one threat at the wide receiver position. So I think Sweets is somehow, some way is going to somewhat slow down this heavy Miami Dolphins running attack and squeak out a W. Feed off of that home crowd energy, man. Who you going to win in this matchup? I'm locked in with Sweets. I'm locked in.
Like you said, they're very familiar with each other. Probably played each other over 100 times. I mean, these two guys know each other. I just think Sweets is struggling a little bit more right now, trying to find his footing with that team, trying to find some pressure on that defensive side. I like what he's doing, spreading the ball around. And I do agree that he's going to take away the run game for Tight, but I just don't think he's got enough in that secondary. I don't think he's got enough pressure coming on that defensive line. And I think Tight squeaks out this one close. I'm going to take the Dolphins.
All right, moving on. We got Flair and the Los Angeles Rams versus BGZ and the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this is another matchup right here, okay, where I feel as though that it's going to be closer than what we think. I'm going to tell you why. Matter of fact, it can be closer than what we think. I'm going to tell you why. The LA Rams has everything on the defensive side of the ball that can help them secure this W if Flair comes out and execute on the defensive side of the ball. We have Aaron Donald, okay, who by far is one of the most dominant is the most dominant defensive lineman in the DML right now. He can help slow down the rushing attack that the San Francisco 49ers team loves to do. We know Bruce is a guy who loves to run the ball first, okay? The only thing that will stop this from being a close game versus being a blowout from the gate is if Flair can figure out how to take care of the ball. Okay, because right now, the way that Jared Goff has been playing, it's not cutting it, young fella. It's not cutting it. Okay, so Jared Goff is going to have to come out and be able to make throws. All right, because your rushing attack is there. I like how you've been running the ball. I like how you've been running the ball. You're ranked 7th in the DML. But Jared Goff, when Bruce starts to lock in on that run, okay, and he starts to bring 8 guys in that box, Jared Goff is going to have to step up and be able to make tough passes against a very, very tough secondary. But I'm locked in, man. I don't scratch all that shit I just said. Bruce, 49ers, W, blowout. But I hope Flair takes some of the little bit of advice that I gave him, man, and try to make this something to watch. Okay, but I'm locked in. Sunday Night Football. The lights is going to be shining. Bruce at home. He's 5-0. W going to the week 7, man. What's your thoughts on this game? Who you going with?
Man, I agree with what you said. Flair has a nice team, and I think the Rams turned out nicer than we thought at the beginning of the cycle. You know, they went a little bit late, but they're a solid squad. They got some nice young pieces over there. If Flair doesn't throw interceptions, if he stays within himself, takes that short game, runs the ball, it can be kept close. But, you know, Bruce has got that leading rusher in the dynasty right now, Mostert. He's leading the dynasty in rushing. I think he plays off that, and I just don't think that Flair can keep up with him if this game gets out of hand. So I'm going with the Niners.
Yeah, man, this is going to be a crazy game right here, man. Moving on, we got my Arizona Cardinals versus the expert and the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to just say it like this, man, what it is. I've been playing like shit. All right, and the more so is because I gotta get the feel back for passing the ball. Okay, and the way that this Cardinals playbook is set up, it's a don't get me wrong, it is a dangerous playbook. I have to figure it out. But like we said in the chat, if you're trash, you're trash. If you're ass, you're ass. And right now, my Cardinals are ass. But let's talk about these Dallas Cowboys, okay? Because I like what Expert is doing. All right. Right now, this Dallas Cowboys offense is clicking on all cylinders. And one thing I like about this Dallas Cowboys offense, even though it has so many weapons, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Amari Cooper, you got Gallup out there, you got Ezekiel Elliott. Sometimes guys tend to come out and try to do too much. But I like what Expert is doing. He's coming out and he's feeding the ball to the hot hand. Whether it's Amari Cooper who's blazing, Lamb who's blazing, Gallup is blazing, Zeke is blazing, he's utilizing it the right way. He's not trying to force anything. And once again, my favorite quote, the proof is in the pudding, because this offense is clicking across the board. But do you think that it's smoke and mirrors? Or do you think that this is really this is really an offense that somebody's going to have to deal with, and this is a force to be reckoned with?
I'm with you. I like the way he's playing. I think he realizes he has weapons on both sides, not just offense and but the defense as well. And he's just spreading the ball around, kind of working his way down the field, not trying to spam Elliott, not trying to spam a receiver. And it's also helping everybody stay healthy at this point. Mm-hmm. I like what he's doing. I like his play calling. He's kind of just slow and steady working down the field. Your team is loaded. I mean, you got Hopkins over there. You got a couple nice pieces on that defense, but turnover bug has bit you this year a little bit. A lot of interceptions are being thrown in the league. But, I hate to go against you here as well, but I got to rock with the Cowboys in this one. They just seem more consistent at this point in the season.
Yes. The Cowboys are more consistent, but once again, I never pick against myself. I'm going with my Arizona Cardinals, getting a W on the road, going into hostile territory out there in Dallas. But check out all the week picks, man. Let's dive into the DML game of the week. And this one was a no-brainer. Everybody should have knew this was going to be the game of the week. We got Embro and the Green Bay Packers versus Andy and those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay. Now, this game right here, both users coming to this matchup sitting at the top of their conference. All right. But I want to break it down. I just want to just get into the meat of it. The Packers have been playing good football, right? But I like the move that Embro made by jumping off a leap of faith, starting a rookie quarterback, Jordan Love, over Aaron Rodgers. But I think this is the game right here. And that Embro is a prideful guy, so I know he's not going to do it, but I'm just going to put it out there. I think this is the game right here where he's going to have to pull Jordan Love, because the 15 INTs, okay, the 13 sacks, is going to show. This Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense has what I feel like what it takes to slow down this high-powered passing attack that Green Bay's going to come out there with, okay? So, the run game that we have grown accustomed to seeing Embro come out and smash people with is going to somehow, some way come alive because them not having a rushing attack, even though it has not shown on paper and it has not shown on the field yet to affect them. I think this week he's going to be against a top user in the DML who's going to try to slow down his passing attack. He's going to come up with a somewhat more balanced playing style on the offensive side of the ball. Now, when you're putting up 47 points per game, shit, it don't matter who the fuck you're playing against. But I'm just saying, in this matchup, you're going up against a guy who's putting up 43 points per game. Okay? Who's right now, stat-wise, is neck to neck with you, okay? You're sitting second with yards per game. He's sitting at fifth. Okay? You're sitting first with passing yards per game. He's sitting at seventh. So I think that Ambrose going to have to come out in this matchup with a more balanced offensive game plan. However, I'm locked in. And I feel like this week the Bucks stop that. The Packers is going to continue to be blazing hot, coming up there in Tampa, going to work against a very good Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. What's your thoughts on this game? Who you going with?
Ooh, I can't wait, man. This is going to be must-see TV. I think both of them are in the same boat. You know, Ambrose started that rookie QB, a lot of yards, a lot of tubs, but a lot of picks. And, you know, Toxic Force over there, the same thing. He's thrown a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of picks. But that defense on the Bucks, you got Carlton Davis with 4 picks. You got Jordan Whitehead, the safety out of Pittsburgh, with 5 picks. And then you got the rookie, Antoine Winfield Jr., with 4 picks. Man, they got to be licking their chops right now, waiting for Love to come to town. You know that points are going to be put on the board in this game. But if you look at Force against his game against Sweets, he proved that he could score with anybody. Sweets kept scoring, and Toxic Force just kept outscoring him. So I'm rolling with Force. I think he's got the better weapons. I think he's got the better starting quarterback right now. I'm going with Force.
All right, man. So we locked up. We got Packers one side. We got Bucks one side. And y'all got all the game picks. You got the shit bowl. You got the game of the week. Now let's just talk about breakout player, man. My breakout player for this week, week 6, I'm gonna have to go with Lamar Jackson, man, because it's just hard. It's just so hard not to get this guy the honor that he deserves. He's been playing since that week 1 matchup. The loss he had to the Browns. He's been playing lights out football. So with my pick, I'm going with Lamar Jackson coming out this week, balling, clicking, doing whatever he got to do to get his team a W. Who you going with this week?
My pick is Scotty Miller, the little slot receiver from Tampa. 5'9", $175, but the dude can ball and he's got some wheels. I think he's going to have a huge game if Force wants to take out Ambrose. Scotty Miller.
All right, man. So y'all got the game of the week. Y'all got the shit bowl game. Y'all got the lock picks. Y'all got breakout players, man. Make sure y'all drop a comment, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the DML Network. I'm your host, OG Chris Murray. We out.